Well, Scott, I appreciate you jumping on this call. We've been working together for the last few months now, and your company, super inspiring to me. I think it's very impressive. I guarantee that you're just at a stepping stone so far of where you're going to be in the near future. I know you guys just hit a record-breaking month. No better time to get you on the call here than now. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about yourself, your company, and what you guys are doing.
My name is Scott. I own Legacy Home Remodeling. We've been in business a little over 3 years now. We're here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Actually are opening up another office in Raleigh, North Carolina next month. So the 1st of September, we open up in Raleigh, but we're an exterior remodeling company. We specialize in exterior, so windows, siding, roof, doors, gutters, and trim. We do all those products on the outside of the home.
Love to hear that. I didn't know you guys were expanding, so that's exciting.
Yeah, we open up Raleigh 30 days from today, actually.
Nice. Congratulations. Before working with us, what did everything look like? Did you have internal teams or agencies? What were you working with?
Before we started working with you, I think that we did what a lot of people in our space did, and it's the marketing agency carousel. We went through a lot of agencies, not because we wanted to, but just because we couldn't really find anybody who could give us the support, the attention, and the results that I demand. I'm probably not the easiest person to work with, but I think that I am pretty easy to work with when people get the job done. And we had a lot of bad experiences. I mean, we probably worked in 3 years with, 10 or 12 different marketing agencies, and none of them could really perform for us. So it was not good before we met Contractor Vault and you, Anthony.
And I know some of those agencies, I don't want to name drop, but they were pretty much the big name agencies that you see all over social media for the most part too.
Yep, for sure.
And so the transition to working with us, what gave you the trust in working with us, and how does working with Contractors Vault compare to everything else that you worked with before?
Yeah, so I kind of fell into it. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was just a message that you sent me on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So I got a message from you. The name actually intrigued me the most, Contractor Vault. It seemed like your company was specifically designed for contractors, and I get a lot of messages from people on LinkedIn every day, and 99% of them I ignore. I don't remember what your message said, but it must have been good, because I believe it was something along the lines of, let me audit, what your other whatever. And I gave access to what my agencies were doing. And, a lot of the times the responses are so cliche and, well, why don't you let us do this, that, and the other? But, what you said actually made sense. I actually sent what you suggested us do to my agency, and they said it made sense too. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And then I eventually took the plunge and moved on from them and signed up with you guys.
Yeah, I love it. And so the experience so far, I know we just had a pretty big month this month. Do you have the numbers for this month by chance?
I think we're going to end up somewhere around 150 grand from Google Ads. I don't know exactly, but it'll be somewhere around there.
And I know we spent a lot less this month too than we typically would. We're scaling the campaigns back up. I think after today, because it's the 31st of the month, we'll be at $6,400. I think for the month. So pretty good ROI coming out so far.
I guess a 4% marketing cost is okay.
Yeah, not too bad. And so that brings me to the next thing. So we do revenue split options. Do you like or not like the revenue share option compared to the agency retainers? What would you say to someone who's on the fence and thinks that a revenue share option is asking too much?
Yeah, I would say that the only reason that a marketing agency would not offer revenue share is if they didn't believe in themselves. If an agency knows they're good, in my opinion, they're foolish not to want to be on a revenue share, and a business is absolutely foolish if they don't want to be on a revenue share, because what it does is it levels the playing field. I never want to be in a situation where I'm saying, okay, I'm paying Anthony way too much money and the results suck this month, because with a rev share, you don't have that. If we do well, you do well. If we, excuse my language, but if we shit the bed, you shit the bed, and I prefer it that way. The fact of the matter is most agencies won't offer a rev share because they know they're not going to perform. If an agency is offering a rev share, what that tells me is they're confident in what they're going to do and they're going to see success. And that's what we've had with you. I mean, like we just said, a 4% marketing cost. I mean, the way that Legacy is run, I won't use a lead source if it's a 15% cost of marketing or higher. It just doesn't make sense to me. And ever since we've been on board with you guys, Anthony, I think, collectively, since we've signed up, we're at like a 6% marketing cost, which is just silly. We were with other marketing agencies and we were at, high 20s, low 30% cost of marketing, just insane. So the other thing that I would say too is, for those of you who are thinking about whether or not to use Contractor Vault, if you're like me and you're incredibly analytical and, attribution is important to you, which is incredibly important to me. If I pay Anthony 10 grand, I don't care about impressions, and Anthony will tell you that I'm a little bit stubborn about this, but I don't care about impressions and clicks and click-through rates and conversions. I mean, all of those are great, right? They're a means to the end, but how much money is going into my bank account, right? That's all I care about. If I pay Anthony 10 grand, how much revenue is that 10 grand producing, right? That's all I care about. And I told Anthony that, instead of most marketing agencies saying, oh yeah, we'll track that for you. What I really appreciated about you, Anthony, was you actually went out and purchased the software. I believe it's What Converts or something like that. But you went out and spent the money to get a platform to give me what I was looking for. That's the kind of partner that I want. There's a lot of agencies out there that, oh yeah, we'll try and track it for you. But I mean, now I have this beautiful dashboard that Sammy, who's my digital manager, can go online and see everything in real time. And that meant a lot to me.
Happy to invest in whatever to make everyone happy and overall generate more results. So Scott, I appreciate your time. Appreciate all the kind words. I love having you as a partner. I feel like this has just gotten started and we're just, crossing the initial milestone, and we got years to come to grow and scale and generate as much revenue as possible for you.
And one last thing to leave you on. I have referred a couple people to Contractor Vault, but I'm very weary about how many people I refer because I don't want Anthony getting too busy. So I don't want 100 contractors signing up. I selfishly want Anthony to myself.
I was going back to one of the texts from the first referrals, and you called me your marketing unicorn. So I'm going to use that. That'll be my new Instagram handle right there. Marketing unicorn.
No, but in reality, guys, if whoever's watching this or listening to this, if you're looking for, just a good guy who's not going to bullshit you and treat you right, and great communication. I mean, I'm East Coast, Anthony's West Coast, and it doesn't matter if it's, 9 in the morning here, which is 6 a.m. there, or 10 p.m., it's the 7 p.m. It does not matter. If I send Anthony, we share a Slack channel together. If I send him a text, it's responded to within 15 seconds. I mean, it's truly impressive. And anybody using their services, you're going to benefit greatly from it.
Scott, I really appreciate your time, man. Look forward to continuing to grow and scale with you.
All right, man. Take care, Anthony.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.